Hello, everybody. Welcome to Magic in the Midwest podcast number 6. I am J.B. Michaels, USA Today best-selling author, and I am here with my more successful wife,
Ashley Michaels.
Ashley, and we are here to talk about the place that we love the most, which is Walt Disney World. And also, this podcast is brought to you by HarrisonandJamesPublishing.com. Also, the books, the many works of J.B. Michaels. Please check out those books on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, wherever you like to buy your books. They are around in audio form, in paperback form, in ebook form. So, yeah, a new one just dropped this week. Yeah,
What
this
was it
weekend.
called?
A new
I'm
one
act like this is brand new information.
It's called The Swedish Days Swindle.
Ooh, okay.
It is a murder mystery set in Geneva, Illinois, which is your hometown.
It is.
Your hometown. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk... Oh, what?
We should do a shout out to our newest Bandcamp subscriber,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes, thank you, Dave, for your support.
Yep.
Bandcamp subscribers keep this podcast going, so thank you very much. Check us out on magicinthemidwestpodcast.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, there's exclusive episodes on there that you should check out.
Yes, Attraction Smackdown episodes. So this week, we are going to talk about Magic Kingdom dining options. Ash, we have gone through
Okay, JP.
all of the lands.
We have.
We pretty much have, except for Main Street USA, which is technically another whole section of the park.
It is.
But
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of your faves. But since there is no major... sorry, our lizard is...
Bearded dragon.
Our bearded dragon.
Chomping on her
Chomping
food.
on food. Carrots. Yes.
Some carrots today.
Yeah, carrots, you know, she's...
I don't think we need to...
She's real cute.
Laugh.
Okay. No, I guess not.
I don't
guess
like
not.
her.
She doesn't like Rose, the bearded dragon.
Nope.
I love Rose.
Disappointment.
The bearded dragon. You're terrible. Aww.
Well, they're supposed to be, like, great pets and docile, and you can hold them, and she just hisses at me all the time and tries to bite me. I have to wear oven mitts to pick her up.
Rose is not necessarily a Pascal, right? From Tangled.
No.
Not really.
We just got
speaking
an
of
angry one.
dining, Rose is dining right now, and that is what we are going to talk about
She
today.
is.
Okay, which is really cute watching her eat. Okay, so we first thought we would go through the major sit-down restaurants, and we thought we would really try keep this to the places that we've eaten at.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously we can't really speak to ones we haven't.
Right. I mean, we can talk about them, but we
yeah.
can't give a judgment, right, of them. There really isn't that many sit-down table service restaurants in Magic Kingdom. For the most part, the most popular, we've talked about this before, the most popular restaurant in the Magic Kingdom is Cosmic Rays. Starlight Cafe, which, by the way, I was wrong. I said Cosmic Rays in there. It's actually the guy who does the show is named Sunny Eclipse. And I screwed up. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Hope
I let you down, Magic in the Midwesters.
I think it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. So there are the major ones that people love and go to are Cinderella's Royal Table and Be Our Guest.
Yep.
Those are the two biggest, most popular table service restaurants that aren't quick service. Obviously, Cosmic Ray is quick service. So which one would you like to talk about first, Ash? Cinderella's Royal Table or Be Our Guest?
Let's talk about Royal Table first.
Okay. So, Royal Table is, it's actually character dining as well.
Yes.
Yes. So you don't just get a reservation and go in and eat. It's actually an experience. Like, it's an experience with a picture and with, lots of different things that happen. It is a neat experience.
It is.
In case you don't know, Cinderella's Royal Table is inside the Magic Kingdom's marquee, the big, or what Walt would call the weenie of the park.
The weenie.
Yeah, the weenie. What everybody looks at, everybody can, the big castle. He would call it the weenie.
That's
funny. Yeah. So it's inside Cinderella Castle. And when you make a reservation for that, they kind of have you're like in the area waiting inside the castle, like in the archways with all the murals and the mosaics. Right. And then they bring you in and Cinderella greets you, and you take a picture with Cinderella.
Yep.
And you meet Cinderella, and I don't know if you guys have ever if the listeners have ever interacted with Disney characters, especially, honestly, a lot of times the princesses, they're so good.
They're phenomenal.
I mean, they are in character the whole time. They make you feel special.
Yep.
Like, they're just unbelievable. They're so good at what they do.
JB goes around talking to all the princesses.
I do. Hey, what's happening, Cindy?
My wife's back there.
My wife's back there. I got a glass slipper. Did you leave this last night?
Oh, my God. Last night? Why would you have left it last night?
I don't know. I'm messing around. Basically, they're so in character the whole time.
Yep.
They act like, royalty. They act as if they are this, sort of benevolent leader, right?
And not just, we'll get into this a little bit more in a bit probably, but not just like acting like a princess. Like, they act like the character from the movie. You could tell, like, they adopt these mannerisms of whatever princess they're playing. And stuff. You know, it's cool.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, they are really so good. Like, they are so. I guess the word is. And it's all of them. It's not just the princesses. But I remember meeting Cinderella, and she was just very regal and very proper and very, like, really, just, it was really neat. And just made the kids feel really special too. It was really neat.
Yeah, we were there when Harrison was younger. But our niece was at like a prime age for that, and she just was in awe of her.
Yeah, it was really neat. So then you are in like the main, the bottom floor of the castle. And there's the greeting room, and then there's this like spiral staircase. Stone staircase that goes up, and then you go into this grand, dining room, and it's beautiful. It's medieval architecture all around, tapestries everywhere, beautiful windows that overlook Fantasyland.
Yep.
So you're not looking at Main Street, which obviously wouldn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
Why would you be looking at
Main Street? Yeah,
Fantasyland is medieval and European on purpose, right? So you're kind of looking into a European village, a fantasy village, and then you have like these great chandeliers everywhere, and there's stained glass and tapestries. It was beautiful inside Cinderella's Royal Table, and then of course, I think you get a very like a prefixed menu. Like, there's only a couple things you could really get.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like prime rib and maybe some chicken or something.
Yeah, it's been like 4 years since we've been there. But
prime rib and chicken or something like that. And then, of course, when you're sitting in the royal table, then you get an experience of multiple princesses coming up.
Like one at a time.
Yeah. Like Snow White and Jasmine and Belle. They're all there. And then, of course, the stepsisters come out at one point, don't they?
Oh, do they? They probably do.
I think they do, and Lady Tremaine and things like that. It's just as far as a dining character, the characters are phenomenal.
And they take a long time at your table. I felt
They
like
do.
we had a lot
Right.
of character interaction time.
Right, and you get great pictures, and the thing we remember, because Harrison was so little, but also Harrison is very shy.
He had just started kind of going into the shyness
And
at that age.
he was
Yeah.
having a rough time,
He was like putting his
Snow
head down
White
every
was
time.
really great
Yeah.
with him, and Jasmine. Both
they did.
Jasmine and Snow White did a really good job of recognizing that, but also still trying to get still getting him to smile.
They did. They were
he was
very
real little.
patient, and they,
Right.
yeah, it was cute.
It was very cute. So it's a great experience, I think, to have eating in Cinderella Castle, right? Dining in Cinderella Castle. Okay, what do you think of it?
Honestly, it's been a while, but I remember the food was good. I wouldn't say it was like the best food of all time, but I thought the food was good. And I mean, you can't beat that character interaction. It's one of the best that we've experienced.
Yeah.
I feel like so many of the princesses came by and they spent a long time with us. I mean, just the fact that you're eating inside of the castle was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really neat thing. And, Harrison wasn't at an age where he was all about that, but I could see how it would even be a more heightened experience if you had a kid that was like the right
or a little
but I mean
older.
it was cool to go in there and just experience the whole thing. I mean I would recommend it to people.
Oh yeah, I would definitely recommend this experience for sure. Yeah, the food, like I said, here's the thing: the food is good, but it's not the amount of. Okay, so here's where people will get. You do pay a lot for this experience. You do get a picture. You do get. You do get the character interaction. You get the whole experience. I mean, it is an experience. It's not just dinner. It is, really a neat kind of novel experience. And just the location itself is, I think, obviously worth it, right, in the Cinderella Castle. But the food is not the best. The food, it's, for some reason in Royal Table, unless it's changed, it might be better now, I don't know. But it's pretty, it's not risky, which I think is probably smart, right? It's not like Skipper's Canteen or something where it's a lot of exotic.
Said, like steak or chicken or very basic.
Right. It's prime rib and like chicken maybe.
Okay.
And then some other things. I mean, but it was still, good. It was not great food-wise. So don't go in thinking you're going to have this amazing meal.
No, it's definitely
Think of it more of more of an experience.
An experience, yeah. And I mean, I do think, obviously we're just talking about Magic Kingdom here. There are a lot of great character meals on property where you don't spend as much. I think part of what you're paying for is the location.
Yeah.
Too. And I mean, you're getting a lot of Disney princesses.
Oh, it's awesome.
In one.
Yeah.
It's cool, but yeah.
I mean, it is really neat.
I definitely don't think it's one of those where if you don't get it for your, like a reservation for your vacation, that your vacation is ruined.
No.
Or anything like
No. It's one of those ones that books out really far in advance. You probably have to be about 6 months ahead of time. It's still really popular,
Well, I would think if you're coming, a lot of people that come to Walt Disney World are coming one time or, and they want that meal in the castle.
Right. And here's the other thing. We're saying the food is good, and it is good. But one thing we have to kind of realize, too, is that sort of a disclaimer for the whole, when talking about dining in theme parks, is that the food in Disney is really fantastic. There are so many really great options. It is there should no longer be this stigma of theme park food sucks. It really doesn't. At least not at Disney. But I know that there are a lot of other theme parks, or not, I don't know, not if you call it theme parks, but amusement parks don't have the best food options. But Disney really does. And Disney will bend over backwards to make sure that you get what you want. Like if you have an allergy, or if you have, specific dietary, restrictions, or you want specific options, they have everything.
Oh, they're very accommodating.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned once when we made a reservation for something that I had like a dairy allergy, which I'm lactose intolerant, but not like super allergic to dairy. And the guy, our waiter, like,
oh my gosh,
he was doing, he had all these things and was laying out all.
Yeah, it was it was at Whispering Canyon Cafe in
when I was
Wilderness
like,
Lodge.
that's really nice that they do that, and they do a good job of having like, there's not just fries and fried crap. For snacks either.
No.
Like, there's a lot of healthy options in the parks now, but that's really off topic. But yeah, Disney food is...
It's actually really good.
Really good.
You can find some really great food. Cinderella's Royal Table is fantastic in the experience and good food-wise. Okay, so I think that's fair.
You can't look at what you're paying per plate and then say like, oh, I could find a better steak on property for less. Well, yes, you can.
Yeah.
But you're also probably not getting...
No.
What you're getting experience-wise at Royal Table.
No, you're not. I mean, it's a whole thing, too. There's, like, music in there.
Yeah, it's not apples.
There's certain things that happen inside of the, like, there's, like, a royal call at one point. And, I mean, it's neat. It's cool. It's definitely worth it. And then, of course, we also have the next big restaurant that people feel like they have to book out way in advance, which was added when they did the new Fantasyland edition, and that is Be Our Guest.
Yes, I love Be Our Guest.
Yes. In many kind of podcast circles and dining circles, Be Our Guest is kind of getting like a little bit of catching a little flack. But we haven't been there since 2015?
Yeah, I mean, that's a disclaimer here, too.
2014. 2014.
Restaurants on Disney property, I think, can change quickly. Like, the menu can change, the
Chefs
chef can change. And so, a restaurant that you really like, sometimes things can, shift. And if we don't go to every restaurant every time we're there, you kind of just don't know.
Yeah, you're not worried about it. Yeah. Right. Plus, there's so many different places to go that every time you go, you could go to a new place every single time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for the most part.
So many restaurants. But yeah, going back to Be Our Guest, we've had nothing but great experiences there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Be Our Guest is technically in Belle and Beast's castle, and it's cool. The whole experience is really cool. Like, I mean... This was well done. This was, I would argue that Be Our Guest is the main attraction of New Fantasyland.
Oh, I agree.
Mine Train is the most popular ride there, but I would say that Be Our Guest really is the biggest selling point of New Fantasyland. Like, it's just neat. It's so cool. They did do some forced perspective, like technically, when you walk up to the bridge to get into the castle, Beast Castle or, Belle's Castle, they have the castle up on the rocks, far off, right? And then you go and there's like a waterfall, like underneath the bridge, like a bubbling brook, like underneath it. And there's gargoyles on the bridge. Yeah. And you walk over, and then you get to the door, and there's this big wooden door. It's really cool in there. And then, I mean, the theming inside Be Our Guest is awesome. Awesome. And there's multiple rooms that you could eat in.
Yeah,
right?
Which I didn't really think about that when we were first in there.
Right.
But yeah, for me, Be Our Guest is really just this impressive... experience, because when you are in the main dining hall,
ballroom,
the ballroom. I mean, you're in the ballroom that you see in the movie. It's just like
the famous
you're like,
ballroom.
oh my gosh, it's so cool. Whereas Royal Table, right, you're in the castle and that's really great, but it's not like a specific room from Cinderella or whatever.
Just some generic...
I mean, it's very, very cool. Like, you're at the actual castle.
Yeah.
But this, it's amazing. It's like you're being transported to the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, it's beautiful in there.
It is. And
it's big, and it's there's lots of like little twinkle lights, and I don't know, it's just very charming.
Yeah, and if you sit on like the other side of the room, the one we were on the totally opposite side, but if you sit on the other side, you're by the window, and it's nighttime and it's snowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's snowing outside the ballroom. And it's beautiful, and it's nighttime, and it's very pretty. And, it's cool because that's an iconic scene that Disney fans all love and know, right? The dance, right? The where, Lansbury's giving us the old Beauty and the Beast theme song, and they're dancing. And that's actually one of the first times Disney used CGI for their environment. That whole ballroom is computer generated, and they're hand drawn.
Oh,
but they're in technically computer generated space.
Cool.
Yeah, so like it's
Didn't know that.
really a cool. Obviously, it's a great scene. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast was one of the only animated features to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
So Beauty and the Beast obviously is beloved, and it was part of the Disney Renaissance, right, in the late '80s and into the '90s. And it's you're like Ash said, it is a recreation of it. We got the first time we went to Disney together, and the first time I was at Beer Guest, we shared that experience together. I got the reservation like way ahead of time, like 6 months in advance. It's like if we're going, we gotta go to Beer Guest,
Yeah.
So we did it, and what did we have? Did you have the pork chop too?
I think we both got the pork chop.
Right.
And it was like a what do you call that? A set menu or a...
Well, yes. I actually
Is it, or
no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I think now it is. I'm not sure what they do.
I don't remember.
Prefix
You
menu.
know more than
When we were there, it wasn't. I mean,
Okay.
it was just a menu, and you
Okay.
get to choose whatever you want. So we had the pork chop, which is like one of their main staples, and it was fantastic.
It was really good. And then it came with this macaroni and cheese that was like, I don't know what that was. Do you know what I'm talking about? It came
I do. Yeah.
I don't know what the word is. I'm doing a hand
I don't know what. Yeah, you can't.
It's like
show
it wasn't just like a spoonful of mac and cheese though. It was like cooked on its own, almost like, and then
baked.
it was like crusted.
It was like baked mac and cheese.
Yeah, baked mac and cheese.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it's baked.
I know what that is. I don't know. It seemed
It's baked, Ash.
more cool than that.
More
I don't
fancy.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually sat in the main ballroom the first time we were there, and we were on the opposite side of the windows, but we had a great view of the ballroom, the chandelier, the whole area. And what's cool is that it's not a character dining experience, but Beast does walk around.
Yeah.
So you can see Beast. He will be walking around his castle, while you're eating inside of it. In his suit, his regal royal suit. But yeah, I mean it's so good.
I
the
really
food
enjoyed
was
the
really
food.
good.
Yeah.
And our waitress or server, sorry, our server was fantastic.
Yep.
Like the service was great. The food was fantastic, and it was packed in there obviously because it's always packed in there.
It was. You should talk about the gray stuff.
And we will.
Okay.
We will. So after we had our pork chop and after we had our mackin', and it was really fantastic. We were like, oh, this is really
It was like
good.
really simple, comforting food done really well.
Yes.
Like it was just really good food.
Yeah. And it was just the ambiance was great. The experience was really great. And I mean, it's a beautiful... Sorry.
It's the coffee maker.
Sorry. Don't worry. It's not a bomb. It's the coffee.
You say that?
I don't know. It's the coffee saying that it's on. Okay, I don't know what it means. I don't know why it beeps.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's obviously done. So then, which I don't think we even requested to have dessert.
No, well, you know what? We were engaged. And like maybe that was something that you had mentioned.
We had our engagement pins on. And that's a pro tip. If you ever have a celebration,
get the pin.
Get the pin, guys. If your birthday is even a month away, but it's coming up.
Disney encourages you to do that.
Honestly, seriously, get a pin, put it on your shirt, and the cast members will recognize that for the most part. There will be many that won't, but most of them
you'll
do.
get a handful or more than that of at least.
Yeah, that trip we got fast passes, we got desserts, we got like special phone calls from Mickey and Minnie. It was awesome.
Was that?
It was awesome.
Oh, that was that trip. I thought that was the honeymoon.
It was, but I mean, it was another thing. We just
Even
just
if you
got
just
married.
have like if you're a DVC member or I think they have pins for all of that, and we always try and wear those pins because sometimes you'll walk by a cast member and they'll say like welcome home, or you know what I mean. It's just little things that will happen and cast members will say because you're wearing a pin or whatever.
And
actually, I'm gonna just tell a side story really fast.
go
I
ahead.
don't know if you remember this. We were at in the Phantasmic show at Hollywood Studios, and they were doing audience interaction before the show started or whatever, and they pulled a kid down as a volunteer, and he had a pin on, and he goes, "Oh, it's your birthday," and the kid's like, "Well, it's not, but my mom said I should wear this pin so I get free stuff." Like, and the whole crowd, laughed because I think everyone's trying to celebrate something or whatever. But JB's right. If you have a birthday coming up or an anniversary or whatever, get the pin for it because you will notice. Not everywhere you go, not every cast member, but there will be
People
that say things.
and then sometimes they'll stop you before you go on a ride, and they'll give you like an old school paper fast pass.
Yeah,
and
cool.
They really do love to celebrate.
I mean, we don't make up things, but usually if you think about the date you're going, there's something around that date that you
like last time we really didn't have anything, so we didn't. We had our DVC member stuff, so a few people were like, "Welcome home."
We always put on the DVC.
Yeah, because people are like, "Oh, welcome home," because they.
I was saying that while you were getting.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Oh,
I saw it. I remember.
Just another example. JB not listening.
I was listening. Okay. So yeah, Be Our Guest is.
Well, we're going to talk about why we got the grace.
Yeah, so we basically, because of that the celebration we were having, we just got engaged. We got this little plate, a little square plate, and on the plate it says, "Don't forget."
No, try the gray stuff.
Try the gray stuff.
Because that's the line from the movie.
Yeah, try the gray stuff.
It's delicious.
Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
Don't believe us?
Ask the dishes.
Well, anyways.
Sorry.
He's not sorry, though.
I know, I'm not. I love it.
But I just want to say, JB ruined it because he thought that the writing... But there actually was, like, this gray... like maybe sort of mousse or something like that.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Kind of like a light pudding or something like that.
Yeah.
But JB thought that the writing that said "try the gray stuff" was like etched into the plate. So he took his spoon and like dragged it across the letters, and they all smudged because they actually wrote it out. I was like, great. I wanted to get a photo of that, and this idiot across from me just drags his spoon across it and smudges the whole thing. No, but we both cracked up.
Oh yeah.
But I was surprised too. I didn't think that it was like that they actually wrote it out.
Yeah.
With whatever that was.
Right. Oh, I know. I totally scraped it off like an idiot. I'm sorry. Ruined the moment. Oh, I remember sitting down. I remember being across from you in the same position that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. And I went like this, and I was like,
and I was like, what an idiot.
I ruined the great
Before we
stuff.
even took a bite, I was like, only JB would do that.
Right. So then after we...
It's like a kid would do.
So we had a wonderful night, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, that was in 2013, and then we returned to Be Our Guest the next year. Actually, was it
2014? Yeah, because that was the trip that we met up with
your friends, Holly and Peter.
Yes, and I know it was 2014 because our son was born the next year, and when we were there, I did not know
you had a tiny pea pod,
and we went on lots of rides and hot tubs and
drinks.
Didn't know.
It
was very, very early.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was.
I remember I just wasn't feeling the best, and you kept telling me to have another drink.
Right. I was like, "What are you worried about?
Classy.
What are you worried about?" Okay, so
anyway, talk about the second time.
Now here's the thing. Ash and I, because we loved Be Our Guest so much, the first time we went back. When we went back, not on our honeymoon, but the trip after that, our first major big DVC trip.
Yeah.
There was that trip. We had a week in Disney. We stayed at the Wilderness Lodge. We stayed at the Grand Floridian. It was awesome. So we decided, okay, well, let's make sure we get Be Our Guest reservations. Now, we only had reservations for the two of us, not for Holly and Pete. But
because at the time we made them, we didn't know
they were coming.
They were coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't know they were going to meet us up there, and they met us up for a day or two, right?
It was back before kids, when you could just meet people on the fly.
Right, just do whatever.
Just pack the morning of the run to the airport.
Right.
I go, hey, here's my carry-on.
It's no big deal. Yeah.
Here's the swimsuit. I'm not worried if it fits. It
right.
probably does. I'm not gaining any weight, even though I eat
I
crap.
feel like I always forget something. Razor.
Yes, and do you guys want to know who
contact
gets blamed?
solution. No, you don't get blamed. I don't blame you.
Why didn't you remind me to bring my contacts?
That is not true. That is not, guys. This is character assassination. This is not true. She just tries to poke the bear to make this
after the Swiss
more
Family
dramatic
Robinson
than it is.
Treehouse incident, not backing down.
I still stand by it. All right, so we went back the second time. Yeah. Although this time it was a completely different experience.
It was.
We were in the West Wing.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was so great and
so,
dark.
Yeah, yes. Do not go into the West Wing. It's the West Wing, right?
Yeah.
In the movie? Okay. So, obviously, this is a very different experience. It's not the bright golden ballroom. Mm-hmm. It is actually really kind of purpley and dark. It's purple, it's black, it's dark. You see the painting with the big slash, his painting that he slashes.
Yeah, there's old, it looks like there's old, old clothes or old things that are ripped and stuff. And then of course
the rose,
which is glowing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so cool. I don't know if you can request
awesome.
Different rooms.
I think you can.
Depending on who you're going with, it's a really cool option.
I think if you want to be in the room, you should definitely request it.
It's not
Tell Disney.
How big was
Tell
the
Disney.
room?
They'll try and get you. It's not very big.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was a lot of people in there with us.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It's not that big of a space, but it's really cool. It's a very atmospheric, thematic place. It's
and
really
what? I
neat.
just want to say, too, that I think when we were there the first time, we didn't even walk over there.
Right.
I don't think we knew that was really there.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't actually...
Because the ballroom is so big.
I think we did. The first time we were there, we did walk around the Be Our Guest restaurant a little bit. Because there's another whole space as well in the East Wing.
Right.
It's the ballroom. The West Wing is further, you keep going forward past the ballroom. There's the West Wing. But there's another room where they have a big statue of Beauty and the Beast.
But those are the only two rooms you can eat, right? The ballroom and the West Wing?
No, I think you can eat in the one with the big statues.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah. So the experience we had in the West Wing was very different, but it was, I'll be honest, it almost was cooler in a way.
It was.
I mean,
at the time we didn't have.
They're both great.
Kids. We didn't have none of us had kids or anything. I'm not sure if you have a kid. One of the they might prefer something over the other one, but it was. If I had to pick an experience, I think I would pick the West Wing.
Right.
It was just neat.
Yeah, it is. It is really neat. Definitely recommended to eat at Be Our Guest, get that whole experience. You see the rose glowing there in the West Wing.
Don't you see petals drop?
Yeah.
Or something?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a cool effect. It's very cool.
Maybe we should talk about how they accommodated 2 more people on our reservation.
Yeah, I forgot to say. So we did only have reservations for 2, but you can do this, and they will try and help you. And there are things you can do if you don't have a reservation. You can always check the day of and be because sometimes people cancel. Yep. So always check the day of, go walk up to the bridge. Beforehand, there's a little kiosk that they have that people stay at. They give you a pager to make sure you stay in the area, and you get paged and you go in. But yeah, we actually walked up. We were you know what? We have 2 friends that met us down here. can we add them to our reservation? And they did. They added them, and we got in the West Wing.
I wonder
if
awesome. That's why we sat in the West Wing.
Maybe it was like we have a table of 4 over there.
Yeah, it's always worth checking because I think they also say that sometimes people just miss their reservation because like they were waiting in line for a ride or they didn't leave their resort soon enough, or they decided no, we'd rather do more rides than go to our spend 2.5 hours or 2 hours, whatever it is, eating and
Right.
So it's always worth it to check.
It is. It's really honestly it's a great experience. We really enjoyed our experience at Be Our Guest, and especially if you're someone who's only going to be at Disney once or whatever, I would between the two, I would say try and get into Be Our Guest.
But don't you feel like now, from what we've heard, it's harder to get into Be Our Guest?
Yeah, I mean,
or
it's
no? Do you think
busy.
it's about the same?
I think it's probably the same. It was always hard to get in there.
I mean, as compared to a Royal Table.
Well, no. Now no. Actually, it's easier.
You think it's
easier?
Because they have
they have breakfast now. Be Our Guest has like a pre-breakfast menu.
Got it.
So you can still get into Be Our Guest and have breakfast. And I think
it would be cool
some
just
sort of
to
lunch.
experience the restaurant.
Yeah, just go in and check it out. There's lots to look at, lots to see. It's beautiful in there. It's really neat. It's well done. It's really well done. So now those are the 2 major restaurants that we have.
We have talked a lot.
We're just about out of time.
You just want to pick up with other stuff,
we could
how
go.
We're having
we
this
could do a little run
during the podcast,
right? Way to go!
We didn't know how much time we were going to spend. We just sort of feel it out. So,
right. Well, we could just go kind of do an overview. We have a little time. We could do a little overview of the rest of the sit-down restaurants.
Okay.
So those are the only 2 that you and I have been in.
Okay.
I think
so.
Yeah, but there are other sit-down restaurants, but those are the biggest ones, right? Royal Table and Be Our Guest are the marquee ones. There's Liberty Tree Tavern.
And that's in Liberty Square.
Which is a very small dining room, right? And opens at like 4:00, and it serves turkey dinner. It serves Thanksgiving.
Like basically Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which I think is awesome. Which is weird, because I think I argue, and so is my family, like Emily and Mom, everybody, they could never understand why the American Adventure in Epcot only served like quick service burgers. And they were like, why isn't there like a marquee restaurant in Epcot for America that serves Thanksgiving dinner?
That's true.
And they've always brought that up, and I was like, that makes complete sense. But Disney chooses to keep it in Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square. So you can get like a very traditional North American dinner, in Disney World, Thanksgiving dinner in Liberty Tree Tavern. It's the only spot, though. Isn't that weird?
You're right. I never really thought about that, but that's funny.
Yeah, why is there there's Regal Eagles Smokehouse Barbecue in the American Adventure, which is Sam, they just changed it. But I don't really get why they don't just like have like a colonial restaurant.
What is it?
Liberty Tree Tavern.
Liberty Tree Tavern.
Yeah,
is that normally busy? Do you feel like it's something you can walk in and?
I think it's pretty busy. Okay. I think because it has limited hours.
Okay, and it's small, right?
It's small. Yeah. So, I mean, you could go check it out and see, but I would probably try and get a reservation anyway. Or in the Disney speak, ADRs, advanced dining reservations.
Yeah,
ADRs. So, Liberty Tree Tavern is another sit-down restaurant. Another sit-down restaurant, which we've never been to, which is newer, is Skipper's Canteen.
I really want to go in there.
Which I guess is weird because it's a sleeper hit, apparently. Apparently, when it first opened, it was too exotic. Then they kind of scaled things back.
Right.
And now they kind of put it back in. Like, now it's more stabilized. They figured out, like, what they can get away with. Because, people at Disney World don't necessarily want something exotic for food.
Right.
They
but
just
then
want
some
food.
people...
Some people do. Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that people right now are really high on Skipper's Canteen, which is in... So Liberty Tree Tavern is Liberty Square. There are no sit-down restaurants in Frontierland. Okay. But there is Skipper's Canteen in Adventureland, which you can eat in there, and it's supposed to be fantastic.
We'll have to try it next time.
Yeah, I really want to try the Skipper's Canteen, so that's cool. Kind of exotic, different types of entrees. And then there's, if you keep going, you hit Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace is technically, yeah, we have. Oh yeah, you're right. It's another sit down, but it's not traditional, right? It's a buffet.
Yeah,
it's not like a server comes up, but Crystal Palace, we can pick up on Crystal Palace.
Yeah, we had such a great
time.
experience. I don't want to rush it.
Yeah, we don't want to rush it. It was really neat. So we'll talk about that. Crystal Palace is a buffet, again, character dining. Set in a great setting.
It is.
Cool spot.
I feel like a lot of people don't really know about it, or just don't think about it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, it's weird. I called to get ADRs for us, like, at the last minute, when we were going with...
You guys,
Harrison
JB always is adding things to the trip. Like, all of a sudden I'm getting, like, these emails forwarded or things printed out, added to, like, a birthday card or whatever of... Hoop-de-doo review,
yeah,
or
we're
another
going.
ADR,
right,
or
ADRs.
Something. He's always adding. He can't help himself.
I know. I just love it,
and I love that he does it because I'm like,
right, she does.
I didn't have to be part of this financial decision. You did it all on your own. I don't need to know how much it costs.
It is not cheap. So then it's funny. Main Street has like a kind of a compact, table service dining. Like it does. Then there's the Plaza restaurant.
The Plaza.
The Plaza. Oh, the Plaza.
The Plaza.
Which is right by, which is on Main Street, basically facing the castle, a little bit off Main Street, facing the castle towards Tomorrowland. The Plaza, and then there's Tony's restaurant, which is just straight up from Lady and the Tramp, which is right when you walk in.
Yeah. The
park. If you walk in the park, you're facing the castle before you get to actually the main street, and you're still in the courtyard area. It's to the right, and Tony's restaurant is just straight up traditional spaghetti, Italian restaurant.
Doesn't have the best reviews.
It's not getting the best reviews
currently,
but I heard that it is getting better. We did hear that it's gotten better. That they're trying to make it. A little better. But those are the major sit-downs.
Well, and I just want to be, disclaimer, JB and I are not, like, foodies by any means.
No.
I'm not super picky. I feel like I can tell the difference between a steak that's, like, super thin and burnt and one that tastes good to me. But we're not, like, super...
No.
I don't want to use the word snobby. Some people, like, really know all the stuff about food. We just sort of think, like, oh, do I like how it tastes? Yep. Right.
We're pretty simple in that way. But yeah, that was our reviews of, or at least, overviews, right, of Royal Table, Be Our Guest. Next time we'll pick it back up. We're going to do Crystal Palace, and then we'll do the quick service restaurants that we've been in and go to frequently in Magic Kingdom.
Definitely one that we frequent.
Yes.
In Magic Kingdom.
Yes. All right. So please, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again to our subscribers. And also, if you want to be a subscriber, please check us out at magicinthemidwest.bandcamp.com. Email us, rate and review us, subscribe on or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you...
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram.
Right. If you want to email us, magicinthemidwestpodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. So lots of ways to get a hold of us. Our Instagram is probably the greatest thing that Ash does a really fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
With the Instagram, there's always some cool polls and questions and posts. And our Facebook group is growing. We're trying to grow the Facebook group so we can have more people in there and do lots of more
check out
fun
the
stuff.
Instagram page or whatever that is.
And then the bio,
account,
right?
Because it's in the bio. Just there's a lot of stories I post, like JB said, with polls. Just fun Disney distractions,
right?
That are fun, like the Dole Whip versus the citrus swirl, or silly things
which
like
the
that.
Dole Whip won handily. Right?
And you voted for citrus swirl, which you've never had. So. Explain yourself.
I just wanted the citrus swirl to get some love.
JB felt bad for the citrus swirl.
I did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the Midwest. See you later.